Patreon.com, The Pain Lair. Don't forget to push this button, comment. Don't forget to push this button, like. Don't forget to push this button, share. You know, all those things that matter. And now that that's finally out of the way, can we please get back to the Pain Lair and start having some fun? For the love of God and all things holy. Good evening and welcome to another fun-filled, exciting edition of the Pain Lair. Tonight, very interesting moment in my life. In 1992, when I left Germany for the second year, Rip Rogers got me an interview with Cowboy Bill Watts in the WCW. I actually talked to him from Germany, so I knew that as soon as I got home to Utah in January, I'd be flying to Atlanta to meet Bill Watts, which I did, and Bill Watts immediately hired me and wanted me to come to work, which my starting date, I believe, was February 14th when I played the national anthem at Super Brawl in 1993, February of 1993. When I was in Germany with Bill Dannenhauer, and I was in Germany with Steve Regal, Darren Matthews. And they both were good friends of mine, and we had a great time. And of course, when they found out I was going to the WCW, they both wanted my phone number, and I was glad to give it to them. We were great friends. I spent an inordinate amount of time with Darren Matthews, and he and I became very good friends. In fact, he was hired shortly after I was. And when he flew from England, I picked him up at the airport. I took him to my apartment. He stayed in my apartment with me. And I let him use my car. And I took care of him as best I could. And the same went for Bill Dannenhauer. Bill Dannenhauer followed a few months later. And eventually he became my roommate. I let him rent a room from me for a while until we had a serious disagreement. But in this video I'm about to show you, Steve Regal introduced me to a young man named Robbie Brookside. And Robbie called me on the phone, and Darren told me what was going on. He said, "Max, Robbie's been selected by the BBC to shoot what was called at the time a BBC video diary." And so I opened my house, I opened my car, I opened my life to Robbie Brookside as well. And Robbie came to America and he shot a documentary of what it's like to be a wrestler. Well, of course, Robbie protected the business. That's what he did. He didn't expose much of the business at all. But like I said, I let him into my life. I took him on the road with me. We were great friends. And that moment inspired me tremendously, so tremendously that in 1995, on my last tour in the World Wrestling Federation, I carried a camera with me because of what I'd seen Robbie do. The only problem with what Robbie did is it didn't really show you what it was like as a wrestler. It showed you the kayfabe version of what it was like to be a wrestler. And I thought what was going on behind the scenes in the wrestling world was far more interesting than what was going on in front of the camera. I still believe that to this day. I still have a movie in the can that someday, I promise you, I will release. But the irony of all of this is that after I shot my movie, Darren and Robbie completely abandoned me because of the movie I had shot, which to this day I still don't understand. When you're friends with somebody and you look after somebody, I just thought that's the way it went. You took care of each other. But both Robbie and Darren have completely abandoned me. And I talked to Darren not too long ago, and his actual words to me was, Oh, it was the movie. That's what cost you your place in the business. Ironic, the movie's never even been released, but it still cost me my place in the wrestling business. And now I'm going to show you what that most influential moment in my wrestling career, one that in the end cost me a lot of friendships, these two in particular, just because I shot a movie behind the scenes that Vince McMahon said I could shoot behind the scenes. Anyway, here's the first inspiration, if you will, of Thing 27, my movie that was inspired by Robbie Brookside and Darren Matthews. It cost me my friendship. To this day, I still don't understand. Maybe you can someday, but I don't think I ever will, because I thought friends were friends. Anyway, here's my segment from Robbie's video diary.
There's a certain darkness, dark, infinite side that lies in us all. You know that side, don't you? Deep within the lair. Come on, take a trip with me if you dare. Into the lair. In the demented mind of Max Payne.
See this man here? This man was in Germany last year with Steve Regal, and I've heard so much about him, and it's the first time we've met tonight. He's a metal maniac, he's a lunatic, and but he's a nice lad, you know what I mean?
I don't start any rumors that I can't live up.
Oh, well, all right,
Most people have this predisposed idea about professional wrestling. Well, how can you be friends? How can you be calm outside the ring and then turn around and get in the ring and be this devastating, pain-giving monster that you are? And that applies to anything. Let's talk about any sports, rugby, cricket, whatever you want. When these guys, they're genuine lives. They've got to be outside the ring, outside the field of endeavor. But when they're in there, you got to turn on the fight or fleet syndrome, don't you?
Exactly. This was someone I just had to see. A man after my own heart. A wrestling metal freak. We're in downtown Atella now, in Alabama. And we think the job's tomorrow.
What not to do to be a professional wrestler. Max Payne is the living quintessential definition of what not to do. Don't leave your booking sheet at home, little girls.
Naughty boy. And here we've got, what's your name?
Barbara Smith,
Barbara Smith from?
Atala,
Alabama.
Alabama.
Now, you just said something to me. What do you call people from Liverpool?
Liverpudlians.
Go ahead there, girl. Is she on top of what? Go ahead. You're on top, you, mate. It means you're a very nice person.
Oh, well, thank you.
And this young man here showed me, didn't have to, tore it down there and he was away. What's your name, lad?
Jerry Carmody.
Jerry. Go ahead, Jerry. Well, we've got to get back up to Atlanta, Georgia now, so...
Max could be severely chastised by the office.
There's a recommendation being filed that there's been very...
As we speak, they're contemplating giving him his walking papers.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there he is, Max Payne.
We're in Atala, but not till tomorrow night. So,
Hey, you're early for tomorrow. You could...
yeah, we could just stay tonight. We could camp in the back of the Batmobile.
And clock in at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
We're here.
Well, boys, thank you for a hell of a week. Top entertainment.
Wow.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So long.
Lovely day for a picnic. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
And now it's back to Bognor for me next job. Where have I gone wrong?
So the last thing I want to say about this is you get to see my beautiful car, my 1975 Lincoln, or excuse me, my 1979 Lincoln Continental Coupe that I got from Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels, who had blown it up when we were working in the Memphis territory. And that's another story for another day. But boy, seeing this video reminds me how much I love that car. And I promise you, if you hang with me in the pain lair, oh, we're going to revisit the 79 Lincoln. Her name was Miss Christine. I'll leave it at that. Till the next time on the Pain Lair, I'm Max Payne. Then.